welcome to my final movie review, technically, of 2022. This video is the last one that I'm gonna do reviewing a single movie. Like, as far as like single movie reviews, this is the last video. But tomorrow, on the first day of the new year, I am gonna have a video where I do a bunch of quick reviews on some films that I wanted to talk about in 2022, but I just didn't get the chance to, and I'm gonna include those on a video. There's gonna be about 10 of them. And also tomorrow, on the first day of the new year, I will have my top 10 favorite films of 2022, sort of a way to say goodbye to the previous year and move on to 2023. Today I'm talking about The Whale, directed by Darren Aronofsky. Film stars Brendan Fraser, Hong Chow, Sadie Sink. You know, it's got a small cast, but some really good people here. The story follows Brendan Fraser, who plays a man named Charlie. Charlie is a morbidly obese man who is struggling with depression after some very tragic events in his life. And this movie is about how he's dealing with everything that he has to deal with in this movie, as far as like his physical condition, while also trying to reconcile with his daughter, who he has been estranged from for almost a decade. I love Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser is one of my favorite actors. I grew up watching this man, admiring this man, rooting for this man. This man underwent a very tough time in Hollywood. There was a lot that happened to him over a 10 to 15 year stretch, and I'm not going to get into all of that here. Suffice it to say that when it comes to Brendan Fraser, I have a soft spot. I root for that man. If I hear anybody slandering Brendan Fraser, know that I will fight you. Okay, I'm not actually going to fight you because Brendan Fraser does not know me, and that would be weird for me to start fights on his behalf when he doesn't know me. But know that I would want to fight you, which is almost as good. So I wanted to see it. I saw the trailer. I was like, holy shit, that's Brendan Fraser? Brendan Fraser has a lot of heavy makeup and prosthetics on in this movie to pull off the appearance of a man who weighs, I'm going to say, around 600, maybe 700 pounds in this movie. But whenever you're talking about The Whale, the conversation for this movie, in my opinion, starts and ends with Brendan Fraser's performance. Brendan Fraser gives one of the greatest performances of 2022. I think without question, the best performance of his career. I wouldn't be surprised if he won Best Actor for this movie. And you know what? It would be deserved, and it would be a hell of a comeback trail for Brendan Fraser after everything that he's been through. He is transformative in this movie, and it's not just about the big prosthetic suit that he's wearing to portray this man. It's also about the compassion and the emotion. Fraser brought his absolute A+++ game, and I would actually say overall, the acting in the movie is a major highlight. Hong Chow plays his friend, a nurse who kind of looks after him from time to time. If it weren't for Brendan Fraser, I would actually say that she was probably the best performance in the entire movie. When she first popped up on screen, I was like, holy shit, isn't that's the woman, that's the chick from The Menu. But she is not just the lady from The Menu. She was the menu in this movie. No pun intended. She was just really excellent. Sadie Sink was really good in this movie, albeit as a character that is very difficult to wrap your arms around. Most of this movie takes place inside this really cramped looking apartment. Utilizing that space and providing the right amount of blocking scene by scene. I thought that Darren Aronofsky did a solid job in terms of all that. I do not remember the person who composed the musical score, my bad. But this is a very sinister, very ominous sounding musical score. If Monstro could rap, and I don't know if he does rap in his spare time when he's not, you know, chasing after Geppetto and Pinocchio, this is probably the music that would absolutely exist on his first song or his first mixtape or whatever the case may be. I do appreciate kind of what Darren Aronofsky was going for here, like what he was trying to accomplish. There are a couple of moments in this movie where you feel like, yeah, maybe the movie does have something profound to say. I was very frustrated watching this movie, and while I appreciate the things that the movie was trying to say, I don't feel like this movie said it consistently or eloquently enough to really justify some of the decisions that were made in this movie in regards to some of the direction, in particular how they handled some of the characters. In regards to the direction, there are a lot of close-up shots. There are a lot of shots that linger and try to focus in and zero in on Charlie and his condition and all of the things that he has to deal with physically in this movie. And I get it that you want to portray it a certain type of way and you want to highlight some of the struggles that a person that big would have to go through in their day-to-day life. At a certain point, the camera work became less about highlighting certain things, and to me, it felt more about like gratuitous embellishment, and that's really the best way that I could put it. It wasn't just making a point like, oh, look at big people, obese people, and look at how they have to live, but it was also like, look at obese people and look at how disgusting they are. And it feels like that's kind of what the movie was saying at different points. I'm just not really sure like what the movie was trying to accomplish in certain things in this movie. Certain ways that it handled its characters was very off-putting. There's a weird religious message in here that feels thrown in that doesn't really add to the rest of the movie. And again, it made me question, why are you putting that there and what are you going for? Some of the decisions that were made towards the end of the film that I won't spoil, I just feel like the messaging from all of this is really kind of messed up in some some ways. And I'm not sure if these are the type of messages that Darren Aronofsky was trying to pull off in a movie like this, but I guess that's kind of my point. Whatever messages he was trying to pull off, I just don't feel like they were clear enough or concise enough to justify some of these choices. As a movie that has mixed messages, and I think some potentially very harmful messages. And again, I'm not sure if that was the intention, but the intent doesn't really matter. It's all about how it was executed and how it carried on screen, and the performances can't save this movie for me. I was very disappointed in The Whale overall. I'm gonna leave this one in the Fortress of Solitude. Might be worth watching for the performance of Brendan Fraser alone, but I just don't think I'm gonna revisit this one anytime soon. Guys, those are my thoughts on The Whale. Have you seen it? What did you think about the film? Give me your thoughts in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Thank you for a great 2022. Stay tuned for my wrap-up of 2022 tomorrow. If you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.